His decision-making, Pitino feels that he's going to get better. Goodwin there, beating the defense, and you can get inside the guards of Indiana.
Tapped away, and back come the Celtics. McCarty, 3 rows to the basket.
That's exactly what Larry Bird does not want. His team turning the ball over. He feels that the keys to the Pacers' success today is forcing the poor shooting Celtics into tough shots and then limiting the turnovers.
Smits with another turnaround off the baseline. He has 4, and we're tied at 6. Mercer has Miller down low and then kicks it back outside. Phillips trying to find a way around the big man. Can't. Down low. Walker comes up short.
Terrific show defensively and closeout by Smith.
And Miller lost the handle. Turnover, Indiana.
What the Boston Celtics want to get the Pacers to do is play at a frenetic pace. The Celtics are better at that. Even though they're going to miss more shots, if they can get Indiana getting up and down, the Celtics are going to win the ball game, and that's an example of why they turned the ball over. Mercer.
And fouled by Mullen.
Terrific pass that time by Antoine Walker, who is just an incredibly complete player. You see that zip pass. Dale Davis can't even get his hands up, and Mercer continues to impress as he moves beautifully without the ball.
Boston Celtics have been prone to the personal foul and therefore are constantly outshot at the free throw line. They've been outshot over their last 4 games, 147 tries to just 65.
They have to foul, Rick. They don't have the defensive stopper inside yet. They're looking for free agent help. They're looking for trade help.
Walker across the lane, down low. Oh, what a beautiful pass. 2 straight beautiful passes from Antoine Walker.
The completeness of Walker showing again, and Bird's going to have to make an adjustment on how they defend and handle him because he's gotten everybody else involved early.
Celtics by 5, coming up on 7:40 to play, and the call goes against Chauncey Billups.
Steve, you talked about the Pacers matching up. I think the Dale Davis matchup and Antoine Walker, he doesn't have the mobility on the open court to stay with Antoine Walker, who can shoot threes, run the break. That's why he's one of the top players in the NBA and a sure-to-be all-star. Mark Jackson working in the post and draws the foul.
That's 2 straight on Chauncey Billups.
Well, this is a very aggressive defense, and they're trying to overplay. Billups trying to talk to the official right now, but Pitino's got a lot of guys. Billups will come out of the ball game. Barrows will come in. He will use them all if he has to, but they want to try to keep the pressure on the passer and in the direction the ball is going.
Local favorite Dana Barros in his 9th year out of Boston College comes on to replace Billups. 7.5 to play first quarter. Celtics with a 5-point lead. Nice pass to Dale Davis from Mark Jackson.
Indiana has really made a change. They're using Mark Jackson in the low post a lot. Not so much as a scorer, although he can do that with the jump hooks, but as a passer, as evidence there, behind the back beautifully.
Mercer, quick shot.
Reggie Miller, Greg, has to make Mercer put the ball on the floor going to his left. Mercer is a catch-and-shoot guy, works so hard to get open off the screens.
Chris Mullen breaks free underneath, and Jackson finds him. Some pretty nice passing going on here early on.
Well, that looked like the play that Dennis Johnson used to run for Larry Bird here throughout the 80s.
Walker going to go to work on Davis.
Normally, they need Walker to score a lot of points early, but they've gotten themselves off to a much better balanced start, and their problem again has been giving up high percentages to the opposition.
Chris Mullen has added so much to this Pacer offense.
Smith, strong move across the lane. Rick Smits now with 6 points, and it's a 13-12 Boston lead.
Smits is playing better, Greg, than at any other time in his career. Dominant in the low post, running the floor, blocking shots for the first time. Finally healthy, Rick Smits.
Walker, turnaround, doesn't fall, tap no good, rebound to Smits, and here comes Indiana. Reggie Miller fouled by Mercer on the elbow, and Miller will go to the line to shoot 2. but not before we take a break here in Boston. 5:55 remaining. First quarter, Celtics 13, Pacers 12 on the day. Larry Bird is back.
NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By Acura, the true definition of luxury. Yours. And by Snickers. Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Hungry? Why wait?
Welcome back to Boston, everyone. Greg Gumbel, Bill Walton, Steve Jones. We're talking about how emotional a day this is for Boston fans. How is it with Larry Bird back in town?
It's a very special day, Greg. He just told me before the game, this is the biggest game of his life today. Of course, until the next game for the Pacers. But they've, of course, adopted that great confidence that Larry Bird had. He's a special guy having a great day.
And that's not the only thing happening today, Steve.
No, with Parrish's number being retired, I think that Rick Pitino is using that to motivate these young players. I actually think that this energy is better for the Celtics.
Reggie Miller to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Travis Knight has come on to the floor for the Celtics. Reggie Miller misses the first, but having another pretty decent season, don't you think?
Well, Reggie Miller certainly to be in New York for the All-Star game. This whole team, whenever you talk to the Pacers, the first word out of their mouth about the difference with Larry Bird is the confidence that he gives them. And that's what great coaches do. They build people up. Also, he gives them freedom to play and make an occasional mistake. What a pass by Walker.
Got it right back in his face and put it up and scored. 15-13, Boston with a
You will
2-point
see
lead.
the ball in Walker's hands most of the time and him generating the plays, but what he does probably better than anyone will give him credit for is rebound the basketball.
Mullen breaks free, can't get it to fall, gets his rebound back, goes up strong, and it's blocked. And Smits comes back and fouls. And Smits grabbing his right finger.
Smits, who's finally healthy after a tough year last year with foot trouble, surgery on both feet. Indiana's going to have to take a 20-second timeout.
Go back and take a look at what happened with Rick Smits, see if we can spot it.
You know, it's a busted play, and the Pacers are trying to get control of the ball. Smith thinks he's going to get a chance to score, and McCarty reaches in, whacks him across the fingers, and it's a lot worse for Smith than it first appeared, and they're trying to treat him right now.
The Celtics lead the league in fouls per game. So they're going to hack down. They got 11 guys averaging over 10 minutes per game, so they go all the way down the end of their bench. Trainer Dave, been there for 28 years now with the Indiana Pacers.
Well, you know, Pitino's philosophy with this team is we got 6 fouls, we don't save it. We're going to get them all. And so they come out and they work. And, you know, because they're a little undersized, they get a lot of those types of fouls against bigger people.
Rick Smits is coming back onto the floor into the free throw line. He missed the first 30 games of last season, coming back from surgery on both feet. Let's check in with Jim Gray right after Smits' first free throw. See if Jim can fill us in any further. Smits makes it. Jim.
All right, Craig, it's a bruised right thumb on Rick Smits. David Craig, the trainer of the Pacers, looked at it. He said he wanted to continue, so he will. Greg?
He has to continue. If he doesn't shoot the free throws, he can't play the rest of the game.
Smits goes 1 for 2. Celtics with a 1-point lead at 15-14.
Dale Davis is having a lot of trouble with Antoine Walker. Walker's averaged 25 shots a game over the last handful of games.
Barrows picks up a foul against Mark Jackson. And where Barrows is really good for them is when they can get him coming off screens and picks. He's a rhythm shooter, and when he gets into a good rhythm, he's as explosive as anybody Pitino's got on his bench.
Smith's going to sit down and have that thumb tended to once more while Antonio Davis comes off the bench to replace him. Antonio Davis, 6'9", in his 5th year out of Texas, El Paso. Mercer, strong move off the glass. First time in the last 4 games the Boston Celtics have managed more than 15 points in the first quarter.
And that's been their trouble in most of the season. They've been having to come uphill, digging out of a hole, but Pitino wants to see this team score at least 20, 25 points each quarter.
Davis puts it up, draws the foul. Go back to Ron Mercer at the other end.
One thing that really works in the Celtics' favor is that they've had 3 days off, and with Pitino that much time to prepare with basically a college team, the movement away from the ball You've got guys like Mercer, who's just the 5th leading rookie scorer behind Van Horn, who's marvelous down there in New Jersey.
Antonio Davis converts the first of 2 free throws. It's a 17-15 Celtic lead.
Ron Mercer obviously was born to be a Celtic. His mother's name is Birdie.
Coming up on 4.5 to play, first quarter. Barrows down low. Walker kicks it back outside. Down the lane, Bruce Bowen missed it. Rebound off to the Pacers.
Celtics haven't gotten much out of the middle from either Drew DeClercq or Travis Knight, now playing the center position.
But they're not supposed to get much out of the middle. Neither one of those guys have been known for prime-time scoring.
But they should be able to at least make a follow-up dunk.
Shot clock is down to 5. Mullen left open for 2.
That you can't do. Mullen is still one of the great shooters in the league. You get him started, he's going to make you pay. That's 4 here in the first quarter.
Pacers by 1. Larry Bird up off the Indiana bench and shouting defensive instructions.
He doesn't spend a lot of time off of the bench. Good defense, Mullen.
Bowen, shot clock down to 1. Knight gets it off in time, but it won't fall. Jackson directing traffic, going to put up the jumper.
Now you see the depth of Indiana. Yeah, there are 2 things that have really changed for the Pacers this year is their defensive improvement and their depth. You've got the Davis guys who are both healthy again.
Pacers have scored the last 6 points.
Fighting the shot clock again. Mercer pulls the trigger, and they're right now not sure where they want to go at the offensive end, and that's cost them the lead.
Rick Pitino made it very clear he needs someone to stand up along with Antoine Walker on a regular basis to help his team. Mullen fouled by Bruce Bowen. So Bowen's foul is his second. 2:38 to play, first quarter. We'll be back. Back in Boston, the Pacers lead by 3. We want to tell you about the NBA online at MSNBCSports.com. Find out what the players are saying about Larry Bird and his successful start as Pacers coach. You too can chime in with your opinion on Bird and the Pacers postseason chances. And take a photo tour of Larry's career from college to coaching. It's all at MSNBCSports.com. Word from the Indiana bench per Jim Gray is that it's actually Rick Smits' palm just below his thumb, which is bruised, but Jim says he will return.
Greg, you mentioned Indiana's postseason chances. Right now they have the best record in the Eastern Conference. Larry Bird in line to be the all-star coach. Probably planning on playing Michael Jordan 48 minutes in that game, wear him out a little bit. I think Indiana has the best chance of anybody of unseating Chicago in the East.
Come on. You're discounting Atlanta, Miami, all of those teams.
I'm not discounting them. I'm just saying that Indiana is the second best.
An illegal defense against the Indiana Pacers. 2:20 to go in the game. The guy that hasn't been shooting the ball has been Antoine Walker. He's got to pick it up, and they're trying to run some plays for him right now. Mullen out, Jalen Rose in.
Jalen Rose had himself a mammoth game in Indiana's victory over Sacramento Friday night. 23 points off the bench to lead all scorers.
And he's a perfect example of what coaching will do for a player's career, Jalen Rose.
D. Brown into the game.
Now, with this group out there, it really becomes important that Walker starts scoring the ball and making things happen. Falls down.
Gave it up. Here comes Rose along with Reggie Miller. Keeps it down the lane for 2.
Jalen is one of those versatile guys. Comes in about 6'8", 6'9", can handle the ball, do everything, and play a lot of different positions and score on people in the paint.
Barrows shakes his man and floats down the lane. Won't fall. Tapped up and in by Travis Knight.
This is where Boston is really good. When they can score, and they're not a good offensive team, but they get this deny pressing defense, and Pitino told us that he really believes that this Indiana team can be pressed.
Greg Minor also on the floor for the Celtics. Mark Jackson for 3.
Jackson, who not noted for making deep shots. Has knocked down a couple, but they're going to gamble off Clark Jackson the entire afternoon, particularly when Barrows has guarded Jalen Rose.
Off the baseline. D. Brown can't get it to fall, and here come the Pacers again. Lee Jackson leading the way. Rose almost had it taken away from behind. Reggie Miller for three.
Dale Davis is such a force. Terrific physical presence for Larry Bird. But offensive rebounding for the Boston Celtics. Dana Barrows will come right down the lane and throw up the teardrop, and then following him right behind the play is Travis Knight, who can just tip it right through the outstretched arms of Dale Davis.
I've been reading that Bill Walton handbook on following the guy who has the ball.
D. Brown wide open.
Nice little feed from Dana Barrows.
And the reason for it, ran his man into the screen. Easy hoop turnover, Boston.
Barrows up and in. Two quick baskets by the Celtics, and the score is now 27-23 with a half minute to play here in the first. Brown going after the ball again, and a kick ball. It's going to belong to Indiana.
Rick Pitino forcing his team to believe that this Indiana Pacer team is suspect in their ball handling. The denying pressure there. It's amazing, Greg, how few guys can really inbound the ball in the NBA. Run the baseline to get it in.
25 seconds to play, first quarter. Travis Best with the ball out front. Reggie Miller trying to shake free. Nice bounce pass. It just didn't get to Derek McKee.
Boston is bringing the ball down to... Indiana's bringing the ball down to Boston's level. Keep it up above your shoulders, and there's no chance they can get to it.
Kicks it over. Minor. And now back to Barrows for three at the buzzer. Got it! The hallmark of a Rick Pitino team. It scrambles, it fights for everything it gets, and it got 3 points at the buzzer.
Greg Minor to the foul line. Then Dana Barrows will step right back as the clock runs down. You see Pitino on the right side of your screen. Arms above the head. 3.
Boston closes out the first quarter with a 7-0 run. Rick Smits has 7. Ron Mercer has 7. 7's the number so far today. We've played 1. The Pacers 27, the Celtics 26. Back to Boston with more. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Welcome back to Boston. The Pacers lead by 1 as we begin the second quarter. I'm Jim Gray. I'm now joined by the legendary Red Auerbach. Awfully big day here in Celtic country, Red. First of all, tell me, how do you assess Larry Bird as a coach?
Well, Larry Bird is a very, very good coach because he has complete control. He knows how to motivate people, and he doesn't lose his poise.
Would you have liked to see him as the Celtics coach?
Well, yeah, of course, but in fact, he was offered the job before Pitino was in the picture, and there was no reaction and no response. So we had to go looking, you know, and then Pitino, of course, was very fortunate coming into the picture.
Final question, Red. You have 16 NBA rings. Which one do you wear?
Usually the 69 because I think it's the prettiest and it's the lightest.
Of course, that was the great year with the Russells last year. Game 7 in the Forum. Let's send it back down to you, Greg.
All right, thank you, Jim. You always go with the lightweight stuff. 27-26 Pacers.
Right now, the Celtics have re-energized themselves, and they've got the Pacers standing around a little bit. They play in spurts. They got a good spurt to close the first quarter, but they got to be able to keep it up.
Had a great time at Celtic practice yesterday with Red Auerbach, filling me in on everything, according to Red.
Minor. Rebound to Walker, fouled from behind by Travis Best. Go ahead, Bill.
Red,
you were talking about how you were boring Red Auerbach to tears this time yesterday.
Absolutely not. He was telling me all the stories. He couldn't get off the fact, though, that Allen Iverson is really a special player down for Larry Brown in Philadelphia. Red, 80 years old now, plays a lot of cards, still plays racquetball 3 days a week. in terrific health. And a couple of cigars a day still.
Chauncey Billups to the baseline for the jumper. And the Celtics regain the lead at 28-27. Little full court press now from Rick Pitino and the Celtics.
Well, you had your man Derek McKee running the baseline, but they're still having trouble identifying how to attack this press, get something cheap out of it. Jalen Rose will break the press and set them up.
I think Indiana's lost a lot when Mark Jackson went to the bench. Travis Best has not been able to take over.
McKee, offensive foul. Offensive foul called by Leon Wood. And that'll be McKee's first.
Well, Leon Wood is probably the official that picks up more of these little tricks that players have than any other official. The little push right at the end, and Antoine Walker thought it might have been him, but thank you.
Both of these coaches, Pitino and Bird, had the ultimate challenge.
Minor, long to the hoop, but came up short, and the rebound off to the Pacers.
Their challenge was to rebuild the spirit of broken players, broken franchises. Right now, both of these squads fully feel they can compete with anybody.
Rose, baseline pass for McKee.
Well, if there's one guy that spirit has been reborn by Larry Bird showing up, it's been Jalen Rose. Came out, supposed to have been a great player out of Michigan, one of the top 5 picks, struggled at Denver, struggled when he first got to Indiana. Now he's beginning to show promise, big time.
Rose open for the jumper and 2. So Jalen Rose has 4. The Pacers lead is 3.
Antoine Walker very quiet offensively.
Well, this has been a controlled first quarter for Walker. Normally he's had about 10 shots by now. Phillips rings the bell again, so he's trying to make sure everybody else gets involved before he goes off.
We mentioned earlier about how Rick Pitino is looking for someone to support his main guy, Walker. Hey, maybe one day it's Chauncey Billups.
On a road that few have traveled. Why? Because we took away their team jerseys and 4x4s.
What the heck is that?
So you can win them in the Sprite Under the Cap game.
It's coming this way.
On NBC is brought to you by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? By Ford F-Series, built Ford tough for 50 years. And by Nike.
As we rejoin you from Boston, Chauncey Billups hit the jump shot, and he will go to the free throw line. And Billups off to a pretty good shooting start, which is unusual for him so far in this new year, Bill.
Now, he has struggled. I mean, you can look at the people that have really struggled, but the reason that Billups is struggling so much is because of the decision-making, whether to pass or shoot. Yesterday, Pitino told us about the smooth. What he asked Billups to do was put intense underneath it. Yes, so you can be smooth and intense. And that's the way Pitino likes all of his players, very intense. And when they can get teams to play intense and at that frantic pace, they win ball games.
But what a hard transition for Billups. Comes in as a scoring guard out of Colorado. Oh, over the top. This play is usually wide open against the Celtics.
Hoiberg's shot is blocked, and back come the Celtics.
Haven't they heard of reversal?
Oh, what a beautiful pass from Walker.
Walker with dynamic plays on both ends of the court. Travis Best is really struggling here.
Jalen Rose finds himself open for the shot.
He's been the guy that's, making them happen for them right now. Either making the pass to Derek McKee or shooting over the top, or in the quarter. Shot clock against the Celtics. Steal Best.
Loose ball scramble. Pacers, McKee on the floor looking for someone to outlet to, and it's Hoiberg.
Derek McKee still a little reluctant to let it all go. He's just back from the horrible, what a move by Jalen Rose. Derek McKee is just coming back from Achilles tendon surgery. He's not going to the ground with that usual pizzazz.
Coming up on 8 minutes to play in the first half. Pacers by 3, 35-33.
When the Celtics get in trouble, it's because they're going against the shot clock. They make a mistake, they turn it over. But what Celtics have done well is move the ball, and they've done it through Antoine Walker. As soon as the guy is open, bang, the ball is right on the money. You know, Jalen Rose has been a player that can do everything, and when a game is close, he really plays well, and they need all that energy. He's made 6 big hoops to keep the Pacers on side.
And Steve, the variety of his hoops.
Travis Best open, his shot no good, rebound off to D. Brown.
I'm surprised Mark Jackson's still sitting on the bench. They split the minutes pretty much, Best and Jackson. Mark 28 this year, his number's way down. Travis Best up to 20 minutes a game.
But they're different players. Best is really a scorer, and
Mark Jackson called for the offensive foul.
Mark Jackson's the playmaker. That's an obvious one, and that's going to hurt Patino because that's his 3rd.
This is number 3 on Billups, and this is a strong move down the lane, but just a little too strong.
When you talk to the Celtics about Billups, you see him use that off arm to clear out Travis Best, who had a good defensive position. They talk about Billups' strength in his lower legs, that ability to get inside. He needs to work on his finishing capability, but such a promising player.
Now, why would a guy that's 6'3" be pushing off on a guy 5'10"?
I never understood that. You just take him inside and throw a jumper in his face, tease him, and run down the court and talk about it.
Davis in the lane. Antonio Davis fouled by Antoine Walker, who immediately pleads his case.
Well, he had both.
That always works.
He had both arms in the back of Dale Davis. I think what Antoine Walker has got to learn is when to lean and why. Antonio Davis has got to show you that he's going to score the ball low before you start worrying about keeping him out of the low box.
Celtics really, Pacers really spreading the playing time around today. Jalen Rose coming in with 8 points. Reggie Miller, not much of a factor. Chris Mullin, not a lot of time yet. They did play Friday night.
Walker with the shot clock at 11, looking to back in, and he was fouled from behind by Derek McKee.
McKee has always had the reputation of being a great defender. Walker's a power player, and he initiated the contact, and that's what McKee is complaining about right now. Fresh 24 for the Celtics.
Celtics haven't played since a Thursday night victory here at home against Vancouver.
Yeah, where they gave up 41 points to Big Country. Big Country Reeves. Big guys have killed the Celtics all year long.
That'll be a foul on Hoiberg. And we'll continue after this. 6:55 to play. First half.
You don't need binoculars to see what...
Larry Bird's Indiana Pacers have the lead on the Celtics 35-33. Like everyone else, we wanted to know Larry's feelings about returning to Boston.
Well, it's going to be good to see my old friends and a lot of the same people that watched me play back in the early 80s and in the 90s. A lot of friends out there that I miss. I haven't been around for a while, but it's going to be completely different going into Fleet Center than it would be the Boston Garden, because the Boston Garden's where I played, and that's where home was to me for 13 years. And going to Fleet Center will be completely different, but at least I'll see some of the same faces I've seen for a lot of years.
3-time MVP in the NBA, 12-time All-Star, 9 straight years All-NBA first team, 3 World Championships. He was all right.
He was the best player I ever played with. Larry Bird's so intense. He talks about all the same faces here. It is all the same people. The ushers, the security people, the fans, just terrific environment here at a new building.
Floor's a little better.
Same floor. Floor is a magic floor. There's the press turning it over. Bird does not want turnovers from this Pacer team.
7th turnover by the Pacers. Walker.
Bad decisions by the Pacers have hurt them, and there's a tough play that goes against Barrows and the Celtics.
Get him in, Dana!
Help him, D.
You hear Rick Pitino barking instructions from the Celtic bench. Coming up on 6 minutes to play. First half. Tie game at 35.
Celtics doing a great job of fronting the low post, denying easy entry pass.
Shot clock is down to 4. Jalen Rose looking for somewhere to shoot. They won't get it off in time.
That's a very good defensive stand, and give Pitino all the credit. Yelling and screaming the whole time to keep him active, and they finally force a mistake against the shot clock and get it back.
Give Pitino all the credit
All
for
the
that
credit,
defensive
because,
stand?
because, he told him where to go. You think Dana, who threw that ball away, was going to be where he was supposed to be?
Indiana does not have a good offensive unit on the team or on the floor right now.
Mercer draws the foul on the turnaround from Hoiberg, and Mercer will go to the line to shoot 2. That's the second personal of the day on Fred Hoiberg.
What they've done better today than they've done in previous games is take advantage of some matchup advantages. Mercer against Hoiberg, an easy one for them to pick out, and they're going down in the box real quickly to him. He has delivered the points for them early in the ball game. He had 7 in the first quarter, a chance to get to 11 if he makes both these free throws.
I want to remind you, coming up again, Robert Parrish's number to be retired here in Boston at halftime.
And a great Celtic party it was last night in downtown Boston. All the guys there. Red spoke. Kevin McHale spoke. He's here in attendance. Cedric Maxwell, he's here in attendance.
Travis Best drawing the foul as he made his move down the lane. Stops the clock at 5:27 to play. And the Celtics with a 2-point lead.
The guys that have got to score the ball out there for Indiana right now, Travis Best, Jalen Rose, and possibly Hoiberg from 3. Rose gets fouled by Bowman.
We were talking amongst ourselves as to whether or not all of the excitement surrounding Larry Bird would have an effect on this young Boston Celtic team. And I think it did early on. It just remains to be seen now if all of that young enthusiasm can counterbalance the great depth that the Indiana Pacers have.
Rick Pitino does not want the Celtics to run away from that impression of the greatness of the Celtic past. He brought them all down to the party last night.
He says he will have them out there to watch the ceremonies at halftime as well.
But he's using that to his advantage. This is where they were, this is where we're going, and we want to hurry up and get there. But Rose has been a force off the bench for Larry Bird, particularly here in the quarter, 8 in the quarter.
Rose with 10 for the game, ties it at 37 as we come up on 5:15 to play in the first half.
And Bird finally brings Smits back. Get some offensive firepower down low.
Walker.
Too hard, the follow by DeClerc.
No defensive rotation for the Pacers. When Smits went for the block, Hoiberg's got to cut off DeClerc.
Jackson, the lob. Rick Smits with the flat-footed layup. We're tied again at 39.
It helps in this game to be 7-4, Greg.
20-second timeout. And Rick Pitino wants a 20-second timeout to talk to his Chargers. It stops the clock with 4:49 to play here in the first half and a tie game at 39. Let's go back to Antoine Walker, who, make no mistake about it, is now and will continue to be a star in this league, Steve.
You know, Antoine Walker is grown, and the comparison is to Magic Johnson because he's about the same size. He passes the ball so well. He can score it. He's very unselfish. He's a tremendous talent that's only growing, and those are big shoes to fill, but he looks like he's got the talent to at least get close to Magic Johnson.
Well, Antoine Walker grew up the oldest of 6 children in Chicago. Went for 2 years there to Kentucky and then bang right to the NBA. Would have been a senior there. Runs a free basketball camp for kids. Pays for it out of his own money in the Chicago area in the off season.
Walker lost the handle, picked off by Minor. Baseline jumper is short, tapped up and in by DeClerc. Once again, no one puts a body on Andrew DeClerc, and he's there to clean up.
You know, the reason for it is he's coming so far away from Rick Smits. Smits can't find him.
They finally come back with Mark Jackson to run the single-double pick. No one is doing a job, though, of blocking out Andrew DeClerc, who is just racing uncontested to the hoop. Rick Smith has got to know where this very athletic and rugged young player is. I think DeClercq is a great pickup for Rick Pitino. Not as a starter, but as an eventual role player off the bench.
I may be wrong, Bill, but I think this game is easier to play when no one's defending you. 41-39, Boston. And DeClercq makes the steal, and the foul is on Smith. Andrew DeClercq has made his presence felt the last 2 minutes.
Well, there's the applause from the crowd and Pitino. This is the kind of effort they've gotten all year long from this young group. Jackson thought he had fooled everybody, but DeClercq stepped in front. So he's a little bit quicker than Rick Smith at this point.
DeClercq will go to the free throw line where he is only a 53% shooter.
Rick Pitino knew all about Andrew DeClercq from their SEC days. Of course, DeClercq from Florida. And DeClercq's Seminoles, they had success against Pitino down in Florida, but they never, he was telling me, ever came close to winning up at Kentucky.
Andrew DeClercq with 8 points today, and he is averaging less than 4 a game coming in.
And now look, he's up. DeClercq pressing Mark Jackson's full court.
Under 4 minutes to play now. Reggie Miller, far side, been quiet today. Smith on the move. Nice move by Rick Smith. Had DeClercq going the other way with the ball fake.
Yeah, DeClercq went to sleep and got burned. That's 4 in the quarter for Rick Smith.
Very difficult to play against this chaotic style that Boston throws at you. You're wide open in very unusual circumstances, double team, triple team, and others.
Barrows sets up Minor, reverse is good. Make it Antoine Walker.
The Celtics have taken control of this game because of their expert work this quarter on the boards, out-rebounding Indiana 7-1.
4-point lead for the Celtics. Shot by Reggie Miller, no good. Rebound to Clark.
Mercer, marvelous defense on Reggie Miller. What a...
Shot no good. Followed by DeClercq. 10 for DeClercq. 6-point lead for the Celtics. Jackson with the feed. Shot is no good. Rebounded to Boston. Jalen Rose looking for a call. It didn't come.
This is usually where the Celtics will make a mistake. They'll get caught up in their own enthusiasm and excitement, but right now they have control of the game and the momentum.
Larry Bird wants timeout. Take a look at the reverse by Anton Walker here. That will eventually fall. And then Andrew DeClercq, the 6'10", third-year man out of Florida, making a name for himself on the offensive board. Nobody happier than the Boston coach. 47-41 Celtics.
In New York, coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, Larry Bird isn't the only Celtic legend returning to Boston today. The Chief, Robert Parrish, who played on 3 Celtic championship teams along with Bird, will be honored today. His jersey will be retired and hoisted to the rafters. We'll have it all for you at halftime. Right now, the Celtics lead the Pacers by 6 as we send you back to Greg Gumbel, Steve Jones, Bill Walton, and Jim Gray.
Hannah Storm, thank you. 2:41 to play here in the first half. And at the free throw line for the Celtics is Ron Mercer. It's the first of 2.
In this game, Greg, the Celtics have dominated the offensive board. Second chance points, the Celtics have 12. The Pacers have 1. Of those 12, Andrew DeClercq has 6. The Pacers not doing a good job of defensive rebounding.
This defensive energy has taken the Pacers out of the ball game right now, and it's up to Mark Jackson to settle the Pacers down, start getting them some easy buckets.
Number 20, Tyus Edney into the game for the first time. That's an offensive foul on Jalen Rose. And again, look who's on the receiving end, Andrew DeClercq.
Pacers are starting to look to the referees for help rather than playing good basketball. Celtics just scrambling, hustling, flopping, have turned everything in their favor.
Edney with a nice pass out of bounds, belongs to the Pacers. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. I'm here with Robert Parrish, 21 seasons in the NBA. Did you feel as though this honor would ever come, Robert?
No, it didn't. I was always told that it would come, but until it actually happened, I didn't think so. But I'm not a person to assume anything.
Well, we look forward to halftime. Congratulations to you, Robert.
Thank you much.
All right, let's send it back to you, Greg.
Boy, we had our congratulations to Robert Parrish. What a great, great career coming out of Centenary. And another tall person, Bill.
Chief last night was so eloquent at the Big Easy, the club. Larry could not make it. Larry was supposed to be one of the speakers, but the plane for the Indiana Pacers was late coming in. Very unfortunate.
Here's the guy for him, Jalen Rose in the quarter, 12 points and keeping him in the ball game. And this is what he wasn't getting a year ago, consistent playing time. And for Larry Bird, he has been a jewel of a utility player and showing it here this afternoon.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. DeClerc with the shot clock at 6 comes across the left lane. Oh, Andrew DeClerc is having himself a heck of a quarter.
See, that's what happens when you let a guy grow hair. You know, those rebounds that got this guy thinking he can score. Now he's got 10 in the quarter.
Well, watch how the Celtics are forcing Mark Jackson to back the ball up the court. Not a good sign for Indiana.
Smith trying to come right back, and he does. Rick Smith answers with 2.
That's one way to keep the coach off your back about that guy missing his assignment on the offensive boards at the other end of the floor.
But it's like Smith is not even prepared to play DeClerc, who was just wide open.
Tough move inside. There to clean up is Antoine Walker.
What a terrific pass by DeClerc. Saw the double team coming, just laid it right off. You talked about guys being wide open. That's what they always used to say about Danny Ainge, is that Ainge's man was always guarding either Bird, Parrish, or McHale, is that he was wide open and still only could shoot 44%.
Smith breaks free down the lane.
And Smith is evening it up. He's got 8 in the quarter now, 15 in the game. So, you know, if he's doing nothing else, he's neutralizing the offensive energy that DeClerc is giving the Celtics.
45 seconds to play first half. Celtics 53, Pacers 48. Minor, bounce pass, baseline, nobody there except Dale Davis. Mark Jackson outside, Reggie Miller fakes the 3, takes the 2.
It's been a quiet first half for Reggie Miller. That's the first 2 points in the second quarter for him.
And just 5 points on the afternoon for Reggie Miller, who comes in averaging just under 20 points a game. Edney down the lane, outside, Walker, baseline short.
Poor use of the shot clock by the Celtics that time. Now the Pacers will play for the last shot.
No shot clock, 10 seconds remaining in the first half.
Make Mark Jackson beat you.
Smith's down the lane for 2 more.
And they don't. And so Rick Smith ends up with 10 in the quarter, which is the same total that DeClerc has got.
Edney at the buzzer, won't get it off. So we've played a first half, and a closing rush by the Indiana Pacers makes it close. Rick Smith, 17 points. Our score, 53-52. Boston will join Hannah Storm right after this. Only one of 2 from three-point land, so they're 52 points. Leading the way for the Pacers after a slow start. The 7-foot center has done well indeed. Look how close he is going to get to the bucket has converted. Meanwhile, for the Boston Celtics, who have lead at halftime by 1 at 53-52, they all have been slow from three-point land. Just 3 attempts they converted through the third-year center out of Florida has had him came in averaging under 4 points a game. Pretty well for himself with the points in the first half, and he too has been able to follow up well, especially on the offensive boards. 53-52 is our halftime score. We're back to the second half in just a moment. As we get set to start the second half, there have been a lot of surprises in the first half. Andrew DeClerc has been a surprise, first of all, for the Boston Celtics, and you'd have to say Reggie Miller with just 5 points on the board, a very unpleasant surprise for Larry Bird.
Well, that too, and the fact that they haven't got a lot of production, but the thing that's most scary is the percentage that the Indiana Pacers are shooting. They're shooting 66%. They're down 1, so Larry Bird's got to feel good Miller's going to have a big second half.
But the Indiana Pacers, they did not rebound the ball. They did not get anything but 2 rebounds in that second quarter alone. Neither team took a three-point shot. The pace was definitely in the Boston Celtics' favor. And unless Reggie Miller and Chris Mullin step up and get going offensively, it's going to be a long afternoon for the Indiana Pacers.
Did you guys detect a tear or two during the halftime ceremony around here? That was fun to watch, wasn't it?
You were limited to just 2?
I'm just for starters.
You only have 2 eyes.
That's right. 53-52 as the Pacers have taken the floor now, and now the Celtics come out, and both these teams watching all of the festivities at halftime at the behest of their respective coaches.
I still think that works in favor of the young Boston Celtics. One, they're going to recover quicker than the older Indiana Pacers, and it's something that they all want to eventually take part in, and this is a whole new group of players.
Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, Rick Smith, Dale Davis, and Chris Mullin to start the second half. Smith's shot is off the mark, and Walter McCarty skies for the rebound.
Smith has got that right thumb heavily taped. Dave Craig working on that during the halftime ceremonies.
Mercer. And that'll be from behind Andrew DeClerc.
Now that's one of the few times in the ball game where Smith has known where he was. He had him right in back of him, so there was no way DeClerc was going to be able to get to the ball.
But you know that the Pacer coaching staff, which is the thinnest coaching staff in terms of numbers of people, they only have 2 coaches. They really worked over Smith and Dale Davis. Most coaches have 7 or 8 assistants. Larry has 2. Dick Harder on the left and Rick Carlisle, an ex-Celtic, on the right.
Miller steps back behind the line, but Mercer all over him. Reggie looking for shooting room, gets his man in the air, looking for a foul call. It wasn't. Shot clock is at 6. Smith on his way to the basket.
Well, Smith continues to wear things out. Once they've turned him loose, they're letting him get way too close to the hoop, so he gets the Pacers on top here in the second half.
Bandage thumb or no bandage thumb. Mercer can't get it to fall. Smith with the rebound.
A high post passing from Antoine Walker is exquisite. Reggie Miller just trying to force shot, trying to get to the line. That's not going to happen today. Reggie takes 13 shots a game this year, down from years past.
That's only his 5th today. No good. Follow is there by Chauncey Billups.
Billups hustled out of that play. Ron Mercer had been open for about a week. He was begging for the ball, and when he finally got it, he had no shooting rhythm, and so he gave Billups a couple of cracks at it.
Billups, the first of the Celtics' 2 first-round picks in the '97 draft. He was the number 3 player taken overall. Mercer was number 6. Smith misses. Whistle blows.
Mercer.
And it is Ron Mercer with the push. For Mercer, that is personal foul number 2.
Great acting job that time by Reggie Miller, drawing the referee's attention. I still think the Pacers are spending too much time worrying about the refs and not taking care of business early on. You can't let this young Boston team get confidence.
Miller runs into traffic. Mullin for 3.
One of the great scorers in the history of basketball. Chris Mullin, for a 5-year period, averaged over 25 points a game during his brilliant career.
Mullin has 9, and the Pacers have a 2-point lead. Walker travels. Rick Pitino said, hey, we got to talk about something here. 20-second timeout called by the Celtics. Let's go back to Antoine Walker. Said, excuse me?
This is where Leon Wood takes exception from the players because he moves both feet. And it's really easy for Wood to see it, and Walker doesn't realize that he has. But Leon Wood will make all of those types of calls.
Well, hard to imagine that Antoine Walker, with as solid a game as he does have, would make that kind of careless mistake to just change pivot feet. Now, we've seen Antoine play throughout his illustrious career at Kentucky and now in Boston. And just a complete ball player, Steve. The passing, the shooting, the footwork, the running, the rebounding, the blocking.
Antoine is a product of Chicago from Mount Carmel High School. And my high school in Chicago, De La Salle, big rivals on the south side of Chicago. And I walked over to him and I said, hey, by the way, I'm a De La Salle graduate. And he says, oh, yeah, we used to pound you guys regularly.
How was your game, Greg?
used to get pounded regularly. Thank you, Bill. Chris Mullen has hit 2 in a row now. And the Pacers with a 4-point lead.
Chris Mullen, who leads the NBA in free throw shooting, said that he had a lot of opportunities to go anywhere he wants in this league. But once Larry Bird took this Pacer job, he said, I have to become an Indiana Pacer.
Walker to the baseline. Tough shot, and he gets it to fall. No, it rolls out.
Indiana with the controlled, patient, deliberate attack. Smith's wide open again.
But when they've been able to get that pace, they've been able to control the scoreboard, they've been able to control the game. So the Celtics have to energize themselves, start making Indiana make mistakes.
Rick Smith has 21, and the Pacers now with a 61-55 lead.
Poise and experience right now for Indiana.
Phillips three-pointer off the mark, out of bounds to Indiana.
Mark Jackson, who broke John Stockton's control of the assist mark last year, his assist down this year to just 8 a game. Larry Bird ecstatic about the good ball movement. Larry rarely gets up off that bench.
Pacers have scored the last 7 points. Boston has missed 6 of its last 7 shots from the floor. Mullen open. And McCarty comes off the rebound. Ron Mercer open and hit.
If Indiana can force Ron Mercer to put that ball on the floor, his shooting percentage drops dramatically. He just catches it and lets it fly. Watch out.
Breaks that 7-point run by the Pacers. Mullen almost loses it. And Jackson will start the offense up top.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Davis, turnaround, is there.
And normally that's the guy you want shooting against the shot clock, and Davis makes one of those rare jump shots.
McCarty put it up in a hurry, but Reggie Miller was there.
Guard rebounding for Indiana, a critical aspect of their game. Pacers not looking to push the ball up the floor.
Miller for 3. And it come back out. Under 7.5 minutes to play now, and Phillips and neither team taking much time at either end of the court.
But this would work in Boston's favor if they could keep Indiana stressed out and shooting the ball quickly. Indiana really wants to control the pace. Mercer, another foul.
That's number 3 on Mercer, and it stops the clock with 7:14 to play, and Bruce Bowen comes off the bench for Rick Pitino to replace Walter McCarty. Rick Smith's leading the way, leading all scorers with 21, and Mercer has 15 for Boston.
They've allowed Smith just to get too close to the hoop, and when things break down, that's when Dale Davis can come in and tip it in.
Every team with a center-oriented offensive attack, Steve, though, just kills the Celtic. David Robinson. There's not too many centers left in the league this year, though, with Akeem and Shaq missing most of the season so far.
Walker spinning on the baseline, put it up, and he travels. And we'll take a timeout here with 6:46 to play. Third quarter, Pacers 65, Celtics 57. This is the NBA on NBC.
Draft presents even more basketball.
You know, we've been talking about the dearth of centers, but these two guys are putting on quite the show today.
You know, Andrew DeClerc has been a guy that nobody's known about in terms of scoring the ball. Rick Smith has been a scorer.
Rick Smith has just been terrific going to the basket, moving without the ball. DeClerc had 12 points early, has not scored, though, in this second half.
In recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund.
Smith has 3 rebounds, DeClerc 7 on the afternoon.
Well, let's see how effective the timeout was in energizing the Celtic defense. When they got back into the ball game, it was because they were more active. They really made the Indiana Pacers tentative. The Pacers, again, at the break, were shooting 66% and only down 1. Pitino had to be concerned. He's shooting 53%. That is as good as they have been all year long. They come into this game averaging about 40% in the last 5 ball games.
Chauncey Phillips has drawn his 4th personal foul. Jim Gray telling us during the timeout that Rick Pitino was very upset with his team's defensive attitude on the floor. Mullen hits them both. That's no surprise. He's the #1 free throw shooter in the NBA at a 96% clip. 67-57. The lead now is 10. Its biggest lead of the day.
Back to the side. Back to the side.
Mercer. Got it.
Mercer is one of 3 guys who they really see as long-term stars here, along with Billups and Walker. I'd like to see Walter McCarty coming in as a role player. Chris Mullen really feeling the offensive flow, though.
Walker takes it and takes off. Dana Barrows for 3. Just like that, the lead has been cut in half to 67-62.
But there's an example of a young player who makes very good decisions. Barrows was on the wing, and Walker gave him a chance to do what he does best, shoot deep.
He's going to throw a lot of long passes against this Celtic press.
Smith goes cross court to Reggie Miller. Miller gets his man in the air and draws the foul.
Celtics want a traveling violation on Reggie Miller. The Celtics have stayed home defensively on Miller. Bruce Bowen, an expert role-playing contributor for Rick Pitino.
How many times did he foul him there, Bill?
2 or 3.
He only got hit with 1, and it's his 4th of the day. And Bruce will go to the bench.
Great free throw shooting team, this Indiana squad, between Mullen and Reggie Miller. They're going to win a lot of games late. The question is, can they get to the foul line, those guys who don't create their own shots? And Smits is an outstanding free throw shooter for a big man as well.
Coming over.
Mercer takes a look from deep.
Now, this is a guy the Celtics have to see start ringing the bell at the offensive end. They're going to get a foul. This one inside against Dale Davis for Rick Smith.
Did you see the pass, Steve, by Antoine Walker? You mentioned earlier the comparisons to Magic Johnson. That's so very close and accurate, I think. The way he sees the court.
Hey, we've seen a couple of Magic-style passes today from Antoine Walker.
I mean, it's unfair, but, you know, because there's only one Magic Johnson, but this kid really does have some special juice, and he's demonstrated it this afternoon.
Goes hard to the basket. Knight. I think Knight was held by Rick Smith. And Leon Wood says that's entirely correct. Tough to get off the floor when a guy's holding your arm.
That's what you have to learn. You practice this with guys grabbing you, getting in the air. You see that elbow right up underneath Rick Smith's arm. That established the contact. Pacers, I don't think, doing a very good job of defensive rebounding this afternoon.
Minor can't convert the little pop. 69-62 Pacers, 4:50 to play third quarter.
Cross screen for Smits.
Travis Knight fighting with Smits down low, and now Smits comes out the screen for Jackson, who drives and kicks it to Miller out of the corner. Walker for Barrows. Back to Walker for 3. On the money, but a little too strong, and here's Mark Jackson. Changes direction. What a play by Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson, really one of the great finishers with the teardrop. Not a high-jumping guy, not a guy with great athleticism, but in terms of timing and deception and creativity.
Barrows for Travis Knight, who's open and goes off the glass.
That's Travis Knight's shot. He's not an inside player. Normally, when he can pick and roll and fade, he's going to get a good look, knocks that one down.
More full court pressure now from Pitino's Celtics.
The Celtics work with computer-generated video programs on how teams like Indiana break presses.
Reggie Miller, three-pointer.
That's called soft touch.
Oh, look. That's called. 5 1/4 for Miller, though.
And 10 on the day. Mercer open. Can't get it to fall. Minor with the loose ball and a new 24 for Boston.
Again, Mercer wide open. They don't see him. Almost turn it over.
That's Reggie Miller, who got the oh-so-nice bounce off the rim. I mean, this goes straight up and straight down.
And Reggie says, yeah, and then a little bit of a thank you, maybe?
When you're a great shooter, like all UCLA players, you stick your head in there, the follow-through comes, good things are going to happen time and time again.
And Miller guilty of the foul on D. Brown.
Pacers foul number 31, Reggie Miller. That's his first personal foul.
First personal, third team against the Indiana Pacers. And the Celtics, in order to get back in the game, they need to get some free throws as well. So they got to be able to start getting the ball to the basket, generating some sort of inside game.
10-point lead for Indiana. Barrows kicks it back outside. Mercer. And then Barrows comes away with a rebound.
No defensive rebounding. They take Dale Davis out, and Derek McKee and Smith just can't get it.
On the baseline, traveling. That's a third traveling violation this afternoon against Antoine Walker. 2:43 to play. Third quarter, 10-point Pacer lead. We're coming back.
NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By the full line of vehicles from Mitsubishi, built for living. And by IBM, solutions for a small planet.
We're in the midst of yet another standing ovation here for Larry Bird. Just reeled off a few of his highlights, just a few of them. And now the chant goes up as we resume play with 2:40 to play here in the third quarter, and the Pacers leading at 74-64.
Just a love fest for the Celtics today and the great tradition.
Reggie Miller. Rebound tonight.
Reggie's not having a particularly good day, but the numbers are coming down, and the big concern here now for Indiana is not about statistics, not about individual accomplishments, but about winning. That has certainly become the case as they have the best record in the Eastern Conference by 1 game over Chicago.
Shot clock at 5, and Boston's percentage is coming down dramatically. Mercer's been the big hitter for him in the quarter. He's got 6 in the quarter.
And 19 on the day. Mark Jackson down the lane, dishes for Smith.
But that's what's been killing them, the high percentage that they're giving up to the opposition. Indiana is still smoking the nets. Smith's leading the way.
See, whenever you turn on the television, that's all you see in terms of Indiana Pacer highlights. Rick Smith throwing down dunks and delayed breaks. Really become a beautiful passing team, the Pacers.
Travis Knight makes it an 8-point game. Batted around, back outside, whistle blows, and the loose ball foul is going to go against the Boston Celtics.
Tough break for Travis Knight. Looked like he'd made a pretty good block against Mark Jackson, but his momentum carried him right into him, knocked him down.
Now John Thomas into the game for the Celtics, replacing Antoine Walker. Mark Jackson with 11 assists this afternoon.
Mark Jackson at the line, shooting 2.
Walker gets a rare breather. He's averaging just under 40 minutes a game, and maybe this little break is going to settle him down because he has been their leading scorer and has really been missing in action in scoring this afternoon.
Coming up next here on NBC, Game 2 of our doubleheader. Charles Barkley and the Rockets hit the Windy City to meet Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen and the Bulls as their quest for a 6th NBA title continues. Houston and Chicago up next here on NBC.
When you talk to all the Pacers about the changes from last year, they talk about the intensity, the level of pride coming up, the sense of responsibility of coming to play each and every game. Talk about the different practices as well, Greg, where practices are longer yet more efficient.
Dana Barrows just gave that one away, and Mark Jackson had it blocked from behind by Travis Knight. Jackson was looking to draw the foul and instead was blocked. Mercer to the baseline. Out of bounds.
Well, Mark Jackson doesn't have the speed anymore. An 18th pick in the draft many years ago. Became Rookie of the Year.
How much of a lead do you need? He doesn't have the speed anymore.
D. Brown connects, and the Pacers lead is down to 6 at 76-70. We're in the final 45 seconds of the quarter. Mullen lost the handle going down. Mercer on Jackson. Got it.
So much poise for Mercer.
And the Pacers throw it away.
When have the Celtics got back in the game when they've had some defensive energy, forced the Indiana Pacers to make some mistakes? They did it at the end of the first quarter. They're doing it here again at the end of the third.
32 seconds remain in the quarter. Pacers lead is 4.
The Pacers have not got the good front court contributions either. When Smits has gone to the bench, they've really suffered. Antonio Davis is a better player than that.
D. Brown. 2-point game.
And that is what they love here in Boston. This team never seems to be out of a game, and it started the season, winning from behind with the Chicago Bulls.
Boston has scored 8 straight.
Where does Indiana get offense now?
Jackson got it to roll. Mark Jackson.
I guess from Mark Jackson, huh?
Teams are not double teaming the Pacers as much as they used to in the past.
2 seconds remaining. Mercer at the buzzer. The difference is 4 as we play 3, and that man Rick Smits leading the way for the Indiana Pacers. He has 23 points after 3. It's the Pacers 78, the Celtics 74. We'll come back to Boston for the fourth quarter after these words from your local station.
May not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
There's a rookie having himself a big afternoon. Ron Mercer, 21 points, 3 assists, 8 of 15 from the floor, and one of the rising talents in the NBA.
Well, he was the high school player of the year out of Nashville a couple of years ago. Pitino's key to the future, and Joe Pitino decided to come here and bring him with him.
Cross court, Barrows, top of the key for 3, front rim. Barrows almost took it away from Travis Best.
Critical part here for Indiana. They've gone deep to their bench. This unit did not play well in the second quarter for Larry Bird.
Well, with the exception of Jalen Rose. But what is going to either win or lose the game for the Celtics is whether they can create a faster tempo. Knight blocks the shot.
D. Brown. Mercer. And a loose ball foul is going to go against the Celtics. We'll go in the other direction. That's John Thomas, the 6'9" rookie out of Minnesota. That's his first of the day.
John's been playing very well for the Celtics, playing center at about 6'7", 6'8", came over in that big New York Knicks trade early on. Celtics getting McCarty as well.
Wide open, top of the key. Shot doesn't fall for Derek McKee.
Steve, Derek McKee's got a long road back.
He hasn't played in a while, and he's always been a reluctant offensive player, but he's a tremendous talent. Eventually, he's going to get back, and Bird is thinking more playoff than right now.
Celtics really having trouble scoring right now.
Cold shooting on both teams here at the top of the fourth quarter.
Nice pass.
Oh, Reggie Miller converts on the nice feed. And Miller, after a slow start, now has 12. And it's a 6-point lead for Indiana.
Derek McKee is an outstanding passer, very creative, much like Antoine Walker.
And the foul is on Travis Best. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, Greg, at the beginning of the quarter, Rick Pitino told his guys he wants better ball movement and he wants to run and pick up the pace offensively. Defensively, he's going to continue to press. Now, as for Larry Bird, he said, guys, we've got to continue to concentrate. We can have no lapses. And as for Rick Smits, his right palm and thumb is bothering him quite a bit. He has 23 points. It has swelled up immensely, enormously, really. But he did tell me he's going to return. Greg?
All right, Jim, thank you.
That hand would have to be swollen to where he couldn't catch it. The kind of shooting day he's having. trying to get the ball to Walker, and so the Celtics will be working against the shot clock.
Billups with the feed for Walker. He can't get it to fall, but he will go to the line. It will take time with 9:53 to play. Pacers lead it by 6. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Michael in the BC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. And by Reebok, makers of DMX Air that moves as fast as Iverson can.
Little party time here in the Fleet Center in Boston as Antoine Walker goes to the free throw line. They'd be in much more of a partying mood if this score would change around. Right now it's still a 6-point Indiana lead, and Antoine Walker with just 6 points today, Steve.
Yeah, he is their leading scorer and has been struggling today. They missed their first free throw when he missed that one, so they've been to the line a total of 10 times and are 9 of 10, and they come out with pressure.
5-second violation. The press works again for the Celtics.
Another Indiana Pacer turnover.
The real strength of Larry Bird as a player was his work ethic and his intelligence.
13 turnovers on the day for the Pacers. 5-point lead for the Pacers. McCarty almost losing it to Jalen Rose. Billups for 3.
Both teams pride themselves on great physical conditioning to see which team can outlast the other. Indiana continued to struggle, though, getting the ball inbounds after Celtic makes.
The Pacers don't want it quick. This is a team that averages 74 shots a game. So they would rather play a controlled tempo, and the Celtics want it frantic.
Travis Best off the nice setup from Jalen Rose. Best's first basket of the day. 82-78 Indy. Billups playing with 4 personal fouls. 8:50 to play. In regulation, Billups puts it up again.
Nice defense by Derek McKee. They're trying to get the ball down low to Antoine Walker. Changing sides. Derek McKee, always one of the best forward defenders in this league.
You have to figure sooner or later, if Boston wants to win this game, Antoine Walker is going to have to be involved.
Well, he's playing terrible when they're down 4. So I think they're doing just great.
Travis Best on his way to the basket was fouled.
Is that spoken as a former Celtic or an analyst today?
Only an analyst, Steve. Always an analyst.
Number 8, Antoine Walker.
Antoine Walker draws his second of the day.
If you read lips, Pitino is telling them, hey, make them force to work against the clock. Let it run down.
Hoiberg throws it away.
A rare turnover for Hoiberg.
But number 14 of the day for Indiana. 8.5 minutes to play. 82-78. Pacers lead it by 4.
Yeah, Rick Pitino believes that Billups is a big moment player, and he wants him in at the end of the game. He's got 4 fouls, made a couple of big plays here at the start of the quarter. We'll see if he lasts. Looking for Walker.
Walker backs his way in, couldn't get it up, thought he was fouled.
Derek McKee again on the defensive end, battling back from that Achilles tendon surgery.
Throws down low. Antonio Davis. Turnaround doesn't fall. Out of bounds to Boston. Let's go back to Antoine Walker's problems at the offensive end.
Trying to create in the low post. Derek McKee will give a little bit of ground here, but he's got those really long arms. Antoine Walker just lost the ball on the way up. No foul whatsoever.
He never had control of that one. And when you're struggling, you're looking for the rest to help you out, and they're not doing it for Walker this afternoon.
Walker just 3 of 13. The clerk will go to the line. Andrew DeClerc finding himself in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, underneath Antonio Davis. That's not the best place to be. Antonio, one of the toughest, fiercest competitors in the league.
13 foul against the Indiana Pacers. That may work in the favor of the Celtics, who have not seen a lot of opportunities from the line this afternoon. DeClerc is not a big free thrower, made his first 2, and when he had that good second quarter of play.
But Steve, the Celtics are not a team that are going to get a lot of free throws attempts because they don't have great one-on-one players other than Antoine Walker. And with him not getting to the line, remember early on Dale Davis just had no answer for Walker.
Celtics 10 of 12 from the line today, 82-79. It's a three-point game. Best, McKee, Antonio Davis, Hoiberg, and Jalen Rose on the floor for Larry Bird. That one, blocking foul is on DeClerc.
Antonio Davis took a shot in the thigh area and is slow in reacting, but where they get hurt when they're pressing is if they switch outside and let that guy with the ball see the cutters underneath, and they found Antonio Davis right at the basket.
Davis across the lane, puts it up too hard, loose ball off to D. Brown. Brown's going to push it. Walker into the lane. In and out. DeClerc will go to the line and shoots two more.
Well, it's just not the afternoon for Walker. Everything he's done at the offensive end has either gone away from him, in and out. But, you know, he's got to fight through it. DeClerc has been the guy that's made him look good by staying on the offensive glass.
Walker, Steve, had a 49-point game at Washington the last couple of weeks. Patino can't believe that little shot won't go down, but appreciates the effort and position and determination of Drew DeClerc.
DeClerc gets the first of two and cuts the Pacers' margin to 2.
Celtics haven't been able to master the offensive scheme. It's going to take a while for Rick Pitino. These guys come in from real disciplined programs where you have to pass the ball all the time. Pitino wants these guys to shoot threes and be incredibly aggressive on the offensive end. A lot of these guys not used to it.
Jalen Rose off the glass for 2.
Terrific move by Jalen Rose, and what a soft touch.
He has 15 off the bench.
Playing time as this Indiana team gets better and better under Larry Bird is going to be very critical.
Almost turned it over. DeClerc gets it back. Shot clock is at 8. Phillips on the move. Had to pull it back. Picked off down low by Walker, and he's on the baseline.
Walker just can't catch a break.
You just see the intensity in him, and nothing's happening at the scoring end. 3-point lead for Indiana.
What the heck is going on? The Miller Lite cheerleader search is over. That's what's going on. It's Laura from Ohio, Irene from Abilene, Trixie from Rhode Island, and Elaine from New Orleans.
Hundreds of thousands missing. No bodies, no graves, no witnesses.
For centuries, they told us the terror would come from above. What if it came from below?
It's nothing. It's here! It's all around us!
From the master of suspense, Dean Koontz.
What are we dealing with here? Biological, chemical, or other?
I'm leaning toward other.
Phantoms, rated R, starts Friday everywhere.
Meet Caitlin Keats, nature lover. She also loves the new interior of the Chevy S10. There's a lot to be said for the great indoors. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Out of the blue, Upjohn invites me to help him test the new Rogaine. Okay. I hated this spot. I said yes. This new Rogaine Extra Strength for Men is more concentrated. It gets more to the root to grow more hair. 2 months in, it's working. My wife's saying something's happening. But maybe I'm just lucky. What about the other guys? Listen to this. 45% more hair than with original Rogaine. 45% more hair with the new Rogaine. It's the, ultimate spot remover.
Super Sunday before the big game, we'll visit with the field generals. John Elway, back in the Super Bowl again. Will he finally win it all? Brett Favre, the leader of the pack, seeks the repeat, plus much more. All a prelude to the Broncos and Packers in Super Bowl 32. Coverage starts at 3:30 Eastern next Sunday on NBC.
Jalen Rose looking to get the shot away and does. Travis Best rebounds, scoops and scores.
That's a big save because the Celtics had everything going their way, and a scramble rebound for Best keeps it at a 5-point game.
Great coaches give their players confidence. Bird is sticking with his second unit down the stretch here.
Walker, fade away this time, and Antoine Walker gets one to fall. He has 9.
The hardest 9 he's had in 2 years.
Reggie Miller getting set to check back into the game for the Pacers. Hoiberg had it blocked by DeKirk, and DeKirk tried to come away with it. Instead, it's McKee. McKee out of bounds to Boston.
Derek does just not have his legs underneath him. He hasn't played much basketball at all. Just on the road back. So much of coming back from injuries is all about that mental confidence that your legs will hold up underneath you.
That's the 15th turnover by the Pacers today. The Celtics force 22 a game, which is the best in the NBA.
So much of that is their style, which the Seattle Sonics were so good at. As the Celtics get better, though, over the years, that style will change with improved personnel.
Well, they were trying to get the ball to Walker. Now they're fighting the clock at 3.
Phillips got the front rim, and Miller has the rebound.
Guard rebounding for Indiana. Larry Bird staying with Travis Best here, but no, coming quickly now back with Mark Jackson.
Jalen Rose across the lane with the right hook, and Rose has 17. 88-83, Pacers by 5.
Rose is backing up that 23 he had in Sacramento, against Sacramento, with a big game this afternoon.
And DeKirk threw it away. Best with the basketball, and he'll slow it down.
Kill him, Ruin, kill him.
Smith, fade away. And Walker is there. DeKirk had a hand in his face.
That's Pitino's strategy. He does not want to double team Rick Smith because that leaves great spot-up shooters for Indiana.
Walker doesn't take the 3. Finds a way around McKee to the basket and drew the foul. That stops the clock.
But that move from the outside really shows you some of the basketball skills that Walker has, and he's having a tough time scoring the ball this afternoon, but he started with the fake on the 3. As we take a look at the leading scores, somebody said, let Rick Smith score? You better not.
That was not my strategy. I think, though, when you look at Antoine Walker, you look at really one of a few guys coming into the NBA these days who can create their own shot on a consistent basis. The ability to come off the dribble, recognize what the defense is going to give you, and then get something good each and every time. That's Antoine Walker. That's also a disappearing skill.
Walker goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and the Pacers lead is 4. Walker went for the steal, didn't get it. Jalen Rose on the move and put it up, didn't get it. Mercer for Billups. Billups down the lane and lost the handle. Miller. And DeKirk fouled him hard, and Reggie started to retaliate a bit before they were separated.
Kirk wants to push Leon Wood out of the way.
Now, he won't be doing that.
Well, the quick push ahead, and Reggie Miller has an advantage. He's going to come into him, and DeKirk is trying to get to a block. Reggie doesn't like the fact that he's coming down on top of him, but Miller will go to the line.
But Reggie was thinking foul the entire way. See, he just drove himself right into DeKirk. He made sure that Reggie didn't get a three-point play.
These are the first Indiana free throws of the quarter. They come with 3:57 to play in regulation.
Miller misses the first.
And gets the second. 89-84. Indiana with a 5-point lead on Boston. Miller has 13. Walker spins on his man, but drew the foul.
Even though Mercer has not had, Walker, has not had a spectacular game, they keep coming back to him. Staying with the game plan, with the philosophy for Rick Pitino.
Well, A guy who's scoring 22.5 points a game, you got to like the odds that he's going to light it up sooner or later. Walker hits the first. We want to remind you, our friends at TNT will be carrying NBA action your way Tuesday night at 8 Eastern time. Seattle against Dallas. I know you guys will be watching that closely because you will join Tom Hammond next Saturday in Seattle.
Well, Seattle recovering.
I'll miss you guys.
We'll miss you, Greg. And have a good time in San Diego at the Super Bowl.
3-point game.
89-86. And a foul from behind. Mercer is guilty. Celtic fans thought they had another turnover.
That hurts them. That's a team foul number 5, so it's walked the other end of the floor. But Mercer really never had a chance to get this ball. He's going to come right through the body of Rick Smith, and that's what they have to really understand. There's sometimes you can't make a steal, and that's one of them.
Theoretically, against the press, you want your big guy like Smith to park himself at the foul line and then come right up to the ball. The pass was thrown a little bit low. Indiana has to come to the ball against this Celtic press.
Smith's 1 of 2 from the line so far this afternoon. 24 points. In his 10th season out of Marist, Rick Smith's a first-round draft pick of the Pacers, the number 2 player chosen overall back in 1988. Got them both. 91-86.
Good to see Smith back in top form after foot surgery on both feet last year.
And he has taken that bandage off of his right hand. Walker looking for his shot. Backs his way into the lane, puts it up and scores.
One thing we know, when you're dribbling the ball, you won't get called for travel. So he has decided, I'm going to put the ball on the floor, break my man down, get close enough, and then try to make a move. Smith will come over, but he's there too late. Walker gets it off the glass.
How many dribbles? And Walker has not been passing the ball a lot lately. He's trying to get his own shot. Jackson and Smith should come earlier.
15 for Antoine Walker.
9 in the quarter for Walker. 2-point game.
A lot of good ball handlers for Indiana right now, negating the Celtics' press attempts.
Shot clock is down to 8, and Reggie Miller faces up on the rookie, Ron Mercer. Miller on his way to the basket, moves the foul.
Now Mercer does everything well until he opens up and lets Miller into the lane. Miller is too good an offensive player to not be able to take advantage of this. Now watch, he keeps him in front of him, and then he lets him have that first step. No chance.
When he started moving his hands, Mercer, that killed him, because that just alerts the referees to a guy who's panicking.
That's number 5 on Mercer. And Reggie Miller now 5 of 7 from the line. He hits them both.
You know how bad Larry Bird wants this game. He won the first time at Phoenix against Danny Ainge. Miller hits the game winner. He won the first time at Minnesota against Kevin McHale. He wants this one big time, coming back the first time at Boston.
Under 3 minutes to play. Chauncey Billups goes the other side to score. Billups has 14.
Whether it's the first time or the last time, Bird wants them all. He wants them all.
I know that. Coming up on 2.5 to play in regulation. Miller, this time, guarded by D. Brown. Sees the double team. Jackson to Smith on the baseline. In and out, tapped up, no, up again.
Going to get a loose ball foul against Rick Smith. 3 times over the top of DeClerc, and that is a shooter.
Larry Bird expresses his displeasure. He'll have a whole timeout to be displeased. 93-91, Pacers.
like all Americans.
And a storm in New York. A look at Michael Jordan preparing to play at the United Center. Jordan's Bulls began the day a half a game back of the Indiana Pacers in the Central Division. Today, Michael will be up against his good friend Charles Barkley and the Houston Rockets. That's right after the Pacers and Celtics, Houston and Chicago. Right now, let's go back to Greg Gumbel at the Fleet Center.
Hannah, just a few moments ago as that play developed, Larry Bird off the bench, and when he saw it go against his team, it reminds me of what Rick Pitino told us yesterday. The fans will come out, they will cheer Larry Bird to the rafters, but then they'll be rooting for the Celtics to win the game.
They will always love Larry, they'll always love the Chief, but now Larry's part of the enemy, right? That's part of a Celtic mystique. You're either on the Celtics or you are the enemy.
Big free throw for the Clerk. He gets the first one, 1-point game. And this is the guy you want on the free throw line because you figure he's only going to give you one of two.
Andrew the Clerk has just tied his career high. He has 17 points. We're tied at 93 with 2:15 to play.
Schmitz, when he gets opportunities like the previous one, he's got to finish strong with a slam dunk, not the double clutch jump hook from 8 feet.
Good defensive pressure by Walker. They slap the ball around. They're going to get a foul against Chauncey Billups at the end of the play.
Pitino teaching, preaching, pleading for poise and patience here. The hacking, slashing Celtics, whose opponents shoot a ton of free throws because they do come in and grab down low each and every time.
Well, that wasn't Billups. It was Antoine Walker, and he had done such a good job up until that point. Rose misses the first.
Rose was 3 of 3 until that one. 2:04 on the clock.
And Jalen Rose is a lot like Dennis Johnson in that he plays a very loose game until the game is on the line or you need a big play, and he usually comes up with one. He gets the second free throw.
Pacers by 1, 94-93, and 2 minutes to play.
Pacers have missed a big free throw down the stretch. Rose, that time Reggie Miller, 2 possessions prior.
Celtics have not led since the first minute of the second half.
Shot clock and Walker working against it at 5.
Over McKee, off the glass. Loose ball picked off by Smith.
Larry Bird has given up a lot on the defensive backboard by going with this small lineup, but he's trying to match up with what Pitino is throwing at him.
Small with 7-4 in the middle.
Miller for 3. Oh, what a shot by Reggie Miller. And Pitino wants time. 18 for Reggie Miller. The 3-point bomb gives the Pacers a 97-93 lead. Judge for yourself. They're pretty much on the money. A minute 23 to play in regulation. 4. Clock running up towards a minute 15 to play. There you see the timeout situation. Antoine Walker down the lane, puts it high off the glass. Didn't have a chance to go in. Smith with the rebound.
Well, he was thinking foul all the way. Once he got his shoulders and head by, he thought he was going to get the call, and they don't give it to him. This is a big defensive stand for them. They give Miller a layup.
Mark Jackson with yet another feed, and Rick Pitino needs another timeout. 13 assists from Mark Jackson. Reggie Miller was there to convert. It's now the Pacers by 6, and we're under a minute to play, and we'll be back. 93. Celtics in a catch-up mode.
Well, the Celtics need a score. They don't necessarily need a 3, but they need a quick score, and they don't know how to get it. And the Pacers got them pinned against the midcourt line.
Rick Smith is playing great defense.
And DeClerc can't get it to fall. DeClerc goes after it. Walker had it batted out of his hands. Walker again. And he can't get it to fall, but it'll shoot 2.
Let's go back to the Pacers' previous possession when Mark Jackson had the ball. This was Dennis Johnson throwing a back-cut pass to Larry Bird the whole time. Reggie ecstatic. Mark Jackson. Larry Bird thinks that's the game winner.
Rick Smith is fouled out on that last play, but Smith, 25 points, 7 rebounds, just an outstanding afternoon.
In that last possession when Boston was looking for a 3, Rick Smith out there denying all the guards who were trying to come off the Clerk screens.
The fourth quarter is making Antoine Walker's total look better, but it's been a tough afternoon. It gets 1 of 2 at the line. 10 1/4 though. They had a foul. They fouled Derek McKee.
Foul is on Bruce Bowen, and that's number 5 for Bowen today. And we'll take a walk to the other end of the floor. The Pacers holding a 99-94 lead.
They get Ron Mercer back in the game. They're going offense to defense. They had Bowen in there just for that fouling situation. And Derek McKee should feel no pressure in this situation right now.
McKee hits the first. We want to remind you, stay tuned. Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up next. It'll be Charles Barkley and the Houston Rockets against Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. That's coming up next from Chicago.
Great to see Scottie Pippen back in the action, running so fluidly.
101-94, last half minute of play. Billups for 3. And the Pacers are going to corral their 26th start of the season, or 26th win of the season, and continue the best start in franchise history for them. Today will mark their 5th straight win, and that guy's done a heck of a job as a head coach.
One thing he's done, you talk to all the players about Larry's impact on the team, a nice emotional embrace there. Players knew how important this was for Larry today.
Meanwhile, Ron Mercer has fouled out. The rookie scored 21 points here today.
But Greg, when you talk about what Larry has done, he's given them the freedom to make the normal mistakes that happen during the course of a basketball game. So many coaches, they're yelling at every single little ticky-tack play. No one's going to play a perfect game, except, of course, Steve Jones back in the Oregon days. But when you come out and you're playing hard, you give the effort, which these Pacers obviously have. Larry appreciates that. He respects them, and he lets them go.
Well, that was a sigh of relief right there. This bad boy is over. I won. The big day is over.
And a great day for Robert Parrish, too.
Rose hits them both, 103-94. Dana Barros along the baseline finds a hole and scores 2. And Jalen Rose and the Pacers call time with 15 seconds to play. And we'll come back to Boston and finish this one up after these words from your local station. 15.4 on the scoreboard clock as the Pacers inbound. And they call timeout again as the Celtic defense prohibits.
Now, you know what Rick Pitino has been concerned about all year long is their ability to win close games. Once they tied this game up at 93, they had some breakdowns. The Indiana Pacers got the better of it. Now you're on your knees looking for a miracle with 15-4 to go. That with a 7-point lead, the Indiana Pacers, a veteran team, are going to go to sleep.
But for Pitino, this is all about learning. It's about growth. It's about the future development. He has done an incredible job for a team that won 15 games last year, worst in franchise history. To be even thinking about the playoffs, remarkable.
Again, same problem.
Bowen trying to get the ball over the back, can't get there, and Reggie Miller looking to dribble the timeout.
Well, they're going to hold it. I mean, they wanted to foul Antonio Davis, and now they're just going to run the clock out. This one is over.
The Indiana Pacers win their 5th straight, their 26th of the season. The final score is 103-96. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Larry, how important was it for you and special for you to come in here? And would you have preferred maybe that this game was across the way at the Boston Garden?
Not really. I'm just glad it's over with. It's tough on me to come in here and play, but my team stood up today like legit men, and we did what we had to do.
You're rarely emotional, but it got you today, didn't it?
Great day. Great day.
Congratulations to you, Larry. Let's send it back now to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, once again, the Pacers win it 103-96. A great day in Boston today for Larry Bird and also for Robert Parrish. For Bill Walton, Steve Jones, and Jim Gray, I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's join Bob Costas and Isaiah Thomas in Chicago, Illinois.